Update: would I be the butthole for sending neighbor a cease and desist letter? It's a very happy update. I drafted the letter with some legal assistance. Prior to sending it, I wanted to ensure I had proper cameras in the event he decided to make things worse. When I installed the camera, the neighbor must have realized why it was installed because they stopped doing all the annoying stuff. Then, about a month later, they listed their house for sale. They've moved out and we don't have to deal with their entitled butthole attitude anymore. I appreciate all the assistance and support as I was really unsure if I was going in the right direction. Edit: I want to clarify. I do not believe that the neighbor moved because of anything I did or asked him to stop doing. I think he had been planning to move for some time and was just an absolute dick of a person. They didn't move because of me, and even if they did, they sold the house for $200,000 more than they bought it 3 years ago. So he is not some victim. I do appreciate all the kind words. I am also bummed that so many people have crappy neighbors as well. Web link. Isn't that an amazing feeling? We had a horrible neighbor when we moved into a place years ago. He threatened to shoot our dog, not because it was barking, but because we were playing darts with friends with our garage open and we were playing music. Not even loudly. At 7 p.m. He called the cops on us. They shrugged and said we weren't doing anything wrong. So then this guy threatens to shoot the dog. When he sold his place a couple of months later, I was so relieved. Man, I don't know why, but the trolls seem to be out in force today, or maybe they're just regular people that have horrible takes. Lol. I just saw another one on another post, so don't worry, you're not alone. Wait, I'm confused. Is the person you replied to the troll or his original post the troll laughing out loud? I think it's the dude below him, the one that replied the same comment as user Trumps_comdump and got downvoted to hell. Edit: pretty sure he's talking about web link. Reddit link. Oh, I was so confused, thanks. 100%, that guy was the neighbor that moved. That user has a very weird comment history. You mean like how he always thinks about his hamster accidentally disemboweling itself? Yo, hook me up. I want to be user balls_deep_and_Ivanka too. Reddit link. No, you don't. You think you do. But you don't. Oh. Can you hook me up? I would love to user crap through a goose. Reddit link. Ew. Imagine having Donald Trump sloppy seconds. He's probably original post neighbor. Yeah, that guy shows up on a bunch of these like trying to play devil's advocate. They freaking suck and need to go away. User Trumps_comdump thanks. User balls_deep_and_Ivanka. Reddit link. I think they're referring to overconfident_idiots. Reply below. Man, I wish my neighbor would put their house for sale. He tried to shoot me and I couldn't prove it, so now I wear a body cam in my backyard. Geez. You're not interested in moving? I had an annoying neighbor, but it's because she tried to talk to me too much. Lol. I would be terrified to leave my house if they threatened you like that. Stay safe. Lol, right? I'm over here thinking about how rude it is that my neighbors didn't clean their tree trimmings out of the alley and other people have neighbors threatening them. I am interested in moving, but I bought an incomplete house in what I believe to be an up-and-coming area and it's nowhere near ready to sell. It'll probably take a year or two before I can easily sell it for a decent price. This house has kind of turned into a nightmare purchase. The house and lot are pretty awesome, but the people around the house suck. I've been here a year and I've had about 10 major negative things happen: expensive repairs, crime, butthole neighbors, etc. I've also come to find out that the city is filled with dishonest business people. Like the kind of things you would see on consumer reporting news shows, where they come to your house, break something, charge you thousands to fix it, and then don't actually fix what they broke, so you have to hire someone else to do it. And then when you look into the business owner, you find a string of businesses littered with bad reviews. I didn't go outside for a while after that incident. I almost never go on that side of my property anymore. I had a 6 fence installed on the border of my property and that guy's property after the incident. When he tried to shoot me, I was attempting to measure and install a fence myself, but I was too scared to do it myself after that. An additional benefit of hiring someone was that they moved a few truckloads of landscaping waste the guy had dumped on my property back onto his property. That sounds like a nightmare. I'm sorry you have to deal with that crap, but good thing for fences and cameras. Good luck on continuing to fix it up. I truly hope you make some good money on that house. Yay, I have annoying neighbors, as in they assume that since we're out in the middle of the mountains, they can do what they want, like shooting their guns in the middle of the night, drugs, etc. Not just my neighbors but other people, they like to go on the run from cops in my area. Some are crazy like that, but the others are mostly just annoying, as in like talk too much. I don't really interact with them too much because even their kids are twice my age. Also, we have a police officer across the street and my one neighbor hasn't caused any trouble ever since then. Get a gun. A body cam isn't going to protect you, but obviously keep the cam for evidence in case you ever need to protect yourself. You're definitely a lot nicer than I am. I wouldn't even consider a body cam first, I'd have gone for the gun, and if they ever tried that again, they'd be 6 feet under. Don't get the downvotes. If you have a neighbor willing to shoot you on your own property, you really need to think about your safety, and that of your family. Like, what else will they do? What if they try again? Call the cops? By the time they arrive on scene, you might already be dead. Sure, he will probably go to prison, but that still sucks to be you. Bodycam is a good idea, but not the only step that should be taken. Even if they are right there watching, it's not really their job to even try to stop someone from shooting you. Their job is to arrest the person after they've actually shot you. Preventing violence is a courtesy provided at the whim of any individual officer. Not their job. If that's true, they can't rightly be called law enforcement. Enforcing a law is strengthening it so that it becomes harder to break, not punishing someone for having already broken it. Enforcing is imposing the laws upon people. Punishing someone for having broken one is in line with the definition. A red light camera, for instance, allows officers to enforce traffic laws after the fact. The thinking is that punishment for one who broke the law is deterrent for the next to commit the same crime. I think people are more complicated than that, but that's me going off on a tangent. Laws aren't hard to break, people make choices and each choice has consequences. People generally choose not to break the law because the consequences of doing so are unfavorable, or because they care about others and their role in their community/society, or, usually, a mixture of both. That was something I did previously this year after an attempted burglary. It's possible that he saw me carrying concealed and thought that justified him shooting at me from inside his house. I didn't actually see him shoot, just heard the bullet whiz by me and it sounded like it came from the direction of his house. When I turned my head I couldn't see anyone and decided to run. The body cam is because the police couldn't do anything. They investigated it as a noise complaint and claimed there was no evidence to support my claim. Both me and my wife heard the shot, but the police talked to an 83-year-old neighbor that didn't hear the shot, and that was that. So that's why I got the body cam. I also bought body armor and have been waiting for that to come in before working on certain projects on that side of my yard. My last neighbor shot and killed our lab and 4-month-old puppy. His kids also shot a hole in my window and car, threw a rock at my car driving down the road, and bashed my mailbox. On top of all this, the mother to these demons came to my house to tell me that her daughter wanted to babysit my daughter as a summer job, like nope. What? Did you ever go to the cops about any of this? I mean, at minimum wouldn't what they did count as animal cruelty? My God, I'm so sorry you all had to go/are going through this. People who threaten or harm pets deserve worse than this world can provide. Did you tell the cost about the threat to shoot your dog? I don't know if they do anything, but it does seem an escalation. My downstairs neighbor's boyfriend is a crappy person. Not just my opinion, he's violent and has caused my neighbor a lot of problems. He constantly leaves his dog off the leash, causing us to not be able to take our dogs out most of the day, and blares music late at night when we're trying to sleep, and a much longer list resulting in us looking to move. We rent our place and can't really complain to the landlord because the landlord hires this guy for maintenance on most of his properties. He also has a long history of violence against people who try to do anything about his behavior, and I have a kid that I need to protect more than anything. So skip the landlord and go to the police or some sort of environmental health team. Hell, if it's a block of flats, then there's going to be plenty of people that could take the heat rather than you. I had a woman shoot at my dog in my yard. I live in town, not rural. The part of the house she shot towards was my 3-year-old son's room. The cops show up effing 30 minutes later, and by that time she's hidden the gun. So they say there's nothing they can do. The cops in my town are useless. I gave neighbors who threatened to poison our cats, and I hate these kinds of neighbors. Oh hell no. Those are fighting words. My dog is like one of my children. Literally. I had a nightmare last night that someone was trying to steal her and I got shot because I wouldn't give her up. Lamau. I would have started a war over those words? I would have shot him first. People would be surprised how far you would go to protect someone you consider family. Hold up, we got a badass over here. Nah, just found another fellow Floridian. If you say so. I hope you have an awesome day. When I was like 7, the people that lived behind us literally had his shotgun aimed at my dog in our backyard, and when I went back there to get her because I heard him yelling, he threatened to shoot me and the dog. Now 13 years later, the man is legally my uncle, but he passed away several years ago in a drunk driving accident, which is slightly sad. Because his amazing wife and his daughter, my best friend, passed away as well. Man, it's times like those I wish I lived in a state where I could just shoot the effer and be legally fine. Threaten my friends and I may have some choice words, but they can defend themselves. Threaten my dog and I'll effing kill you without batting an eye. Great update. People who demand favors are my favorite. I used to rent an apartment that had a driveway. There was a condo being built next door and the contractors decided they would just park in front of our driveway. One particularly dickish contractor refused to move when we told him to. He said that because the other neighbors said he could block their driveway, we had to let him do it too. He said he would only move to let us in or out of our driveway. We called the cops repeatedly. They didn't ticket him though, and so he kept doing it. We called the tow truck, but they can't tow without a ticket on the vehicle in our city. So eventually I had had enough. I told him he had 5 minutes to move his truck or he was going to regret it. Then after 5 minutes was up, I dumped an entire litter box of dirty kitty litter all over his windshield and the hood of his truck. He never parked there again. Epically gross, and I love it. Thanks. I went full Philly chick on his ass. At one point after I dumped the litter box, I looked him dead in the face and said, "You don't want to park here anymore. A crazy person lives here." Did I mention I was 5 months pregnant at the time? Don't piss off a pregnant woman or a Philly chick. And definitely don't piss off a pregnant Philly chick. Not a Philly chicken, but have definitely been a pregnant chick. You brought tears of joy to my eyes from laughing so hard and remembering some of the crap I have done to get people to leave me alone while pregnant. Edit. I see autocorrect did me a favor without asking me first. Supposed to be Philly chick. I'm keeping that mistake because I think it's a funny autocorrect. So do guys from Philly call themselves Philly vaginas? I'm not from Philly. It's like a 7-hour drive from me, so I am not the right person to ask about this. I know a guy from Philly and I'd call him a vagina if that helps. I've met quite a few vaginas from Philly. Not sure if that's the same thing though. Good old Philly. The city that tried to kill Santa, almost burned themselves down for a World Series they won, and whose unofficial slogan is F around and find out. Such a beautiful place. Shaking my head, my state's motto is strong deeds, gentle words, but I really like F around and find out so much more. Gritty would be proud. Oh hell yes. I'm applauding you from Air user Jess Songbird, Reddit link. I feel bad for their new neighbors. I can hear the conversation now. I parked my trailer on my neighbor's lawn at my old house for years and it wasn't a problem then. I should be able to park on your lawn now too. Just had the sudden realization that this is just the next level for crafty roommates who are so bad they are forced to live alone eventually. They turn into crafty neighbors. Nah. I was a crafty roommate because I don't like sharing space/belongings with others, and if anything, that makes me a great neighbor now that I live alone. I respect everyone's privacy and property. Different kind of crafty roommate. Ops neighbor is the opposite of you. He has no boundaries and will take whatever without permission. I think most people would rather have your kind of roommate, because you're less likely to steal my stuff. I know people like that. I severely dislike those kind of people. I feel bad for their kids. They don't sound like great parents. The kids doing that stuff just sounds like the parents said whatever to working with them to learn boundaries and manners, just like they did to original posts saying they were parking on their property. Let's all hope they moved somewhere rural and have no close neighbors to annoy. I'm sure they'll still find a way. You did things right and you were cordial. I was the butthole in my own bad neighbor situation where they kept blocking my garage by parking their car in an alleyway against HOA rules. I asked them to move several times and they were rude. They rudely threw my notes on the ground. I got fed up one day when they blocked me in and started cleaning my guns with my garage open, and just stared at the whole family when they finally came to their car an hour later. I was oiling down my shotgun and just stared at them blankly the entire time. They never blocked me in again, and they moved out 3 months later, but yeah. That sounds funny as hell, but I'd imagine terrifying for them. I'm glad nothing happened to you, but the implied threat is sometimes enough for the cops to move on, for future reference. It's not. They can try, but hassling me for cleaning my shotgun in my own garage would lead to an easy lawsuit that I would win. Which would be nice. You shouldn't be proud of that. Edit. Excuse me, people in this sub think I'm wrong for saying that threatening someone with a shotgun isn't something to be proud of? Sure. I'm not, which is why I know I was the butthole. But it got the job done. Why not? Some people need a wake-up call. Because it's overtly threatening behavior and potentially escalates the situation. Op's response was much more sensible. Cleaning his gun on his own property isn't threatening? Now if they want to take it that way, which they clearly did, it's on them. That's their karma, realizing that they are messing with the wrong one. If someone was sitting in their garage oiling up a rifle just staring at me, especially after we've had conflict in the past, that's definitely threatening. Especially since the guy explicitly meant it to be threatening. Didn't they leave him alone afterward? Mission accomplished. Sometimes it's better to show people better than you can tell them. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.